The Whisper Box.
Hey guys, it's Dana from the Whisper Box, and welcome back to my channel. I'm finally doing the Got It on Vinyl that I promised. I said back in January that I was going to come back to this channel with the series Got It on Vinyl because I got a bunch more vinyl since the last time I ever posted one of these. And here I am, finally, I am back after much procrastination and mostly self-care, but also procrastination. I'm back, and this month's album is Nightshade by Andrew Belle. So my boyfriend actually got me this for Christmas 2021, and it's a signed copy. I'm so excited, like his autograph at the top, and I was like ecstatic when I found out because like, okay, I told him I wanted a record for Christmas. Like I gave him three options because I know they get sold out like really quickly, especially during like holidays and whatever. So I was like, I want this one or like two other ones, whichever one you want to get for me. Like get if they're like out of stock, like let me know and I'll give you more options. The boy buys all three albums that I gave him as options, and he got this one signed. And I knew he had got me this album at least of the three. I knew he got me this one because I was looking over his shoulder while he was scrolling through his emails, and I saw he had an email from Andrew Belle, and I'm just like, I know he doesn't listen to music like that. Like he doesn't have any favorite artists or anything. Like he's not really like a huge music junkie like me, so he wouldn't be getting like notifications or like emails from a artist unless he bought me the album. So I assumed he got me this. But then I saw under the tree the freaking like wrapping paper was like this like width or girth or whatever, and it was like, you know, the size of a record. So it's like, why is it so thick? It's just the one record is in that, you know, sleeve if it's Andrew Belle. So I was confused, and then I opened it and he got me all of the ones that I gave him as options. So like, oh my god, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, but like you didn't. I have to go that far out and beyond, especially since this one is signed. This would have been more than enough, but like, oh my god, I'm so grateful. So yeah, I have a ton of more albums to like review for this Got It On Vinyl series, but we're gonna start with this one. So yeah, I have been a huge fan of Andrew Belle for a while. I have been wanting to go to an Andrew Belle concert for so long. Like when I first started listening to him, I was too young to go to some of the venues that he was playing at. So now that I'm old enough, I keep like missing out whenever they go on sale. And since I live in New York, the sales for New York tickets, like they go really quickly, and they end up having to put like a second date for New York because they have so much demand, and that gets sold out really quickly too. So if you don't hear about it like in the first few days that like they announce the tour, like you won't get tickets. And that's what's been happening to me every time he comes to New York. He usually plays at like Mercury Lounge, which I've been to a bunch of times, but like never to see him. So I'm like so sad, and I hope soon I can go see Andrew Belle. But yeah, so this album is called Nightshade, and it came out in the summer of 2021. And my previous job, I couldn't really listen to music because I was on like a radio job, so I couldn't listen to anything but the radio that I was, you know, meant to work on. But after that, I got a new job where I can listen to music in the background while I work, which I love doing. So this album came out at the perfect time because I was listening to this all the time. Like, it was so bad that, like, my Spotify Wrapped for the end of 2021 was basically just this album and this artist. Like, Andrew Belle was on all of the categories, this album was on all the categories, and all the songs were just, like, filling up the entire, like, Spotify Wrapped. And I was like, okay, I'm obsessed, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, like Andrew Belle might get a restraining order on me because I'm like actually obsessed. But no, I really, really love this album. Like he has not had a bad album. I don't feel like he's definitely just so talented. His style has changed over the years. Like he used to do more of like, you know, heavy guitar, acoustic type of stuff. So his first albums were basically that vibe, and now he's like switched more into like, you know, the whole synth kind of experimentation, which has been really fun to be like on the journey of that with him. I feel like I definitely love his new work and his old work, so if I were to go to a concert, I'd be jamming out to like every single song because like, oh my god, they're all so good. But yeah, basically I listen to this album all the time. It's such a nice like smooth kind of like not super like, you know, hyper type of album. Like it's a very like easy listening type of thing with like enough of a groove to get you through the day, you know, which is what we all need. And yeah, like I really, really like it. So now onto the vinyl aspect of this. This album gave me a little bit of trouble when I first opened it. So I opened it and I tried to put it on the record, and you know, a little like piece, the circle in the middle of the record where it goes on to the plate. That little circle was too small. So I used to like get scared to push it down onto the plate because I was afraid that I would like crack it in half. So I was asking people online, like, oh my god, what do I do? Like my record, like every time I want to put it on or take it off, I feel like I'm gonna break it because like the hole is so small to push it down to the plate. And apparently, like a bunch of people have done this thing where they take a scissor and you just like rotate the scissor around in the hole to like, you know, I don't know, I guess like shave it down a little bit. And that seemed to work. I got my boyfriend to do it because I was too scared. I was like, you're the one who bought this, so if you mess it up, you just buy a new one. That's all. But yeah, so he did it for me and it worked. So now I could put it on and take it off without like worrying about breaking it. But at first, like I was so scared that I was gonna mess up my new record. And I was like, what is wrong with this? Like whoever manufactured the holes, like whoever made the holes in all of the vinyl records for this album, they didn't punch the hole far in enough, I guess, or like they ripped it out too soon or didn't like wait for something to like be completed properly because the hole was too small. It literally was so tight and I couldn't push it down without like worrying. But now that's fixed, so that's nice. Yeah, other than that, like listening to this record on vinyl is such a like nice experience. It's such a like shift from listening to it at my desk at work because that's where I listen to it most in my headphones. Listening to it out loud, it's like so fun. It's super groovy as opposed to like I feel like when I listen to it at work, it's more of like a calming type of like I get into the zone, and you know like it's more of like an experience where you feel like you're taken out of like, you know, whatever chaos that you're in like physically, and you're transported to like a more serene type of experience is what I feel like when I listen to headphones. But when I listen to it on my record player, it's more of like a danceable type of thing where I can be like, yes, you know, like I love that so much. I love the contrast because like that's what I really look for when I get vinyl records. Like I don't want it to sound the way it sounds when I listen to it in headphones. Because what did I buy the record for, and what did I buy the record player for? I bought it so that I could feel the difference of listening to it out loud. It's a different type of mechanism. So this album really does that for me. It really gives me that variety, and I love that. So let's just jump into a couple of my favorite songs on the record. So one of my first favorites is called Spectrum, and it's kind of a really whimsy song. Like the thing about Andrew Belle is that his lyrics are very interesting, and I find that that has been the case more so now when he's like shifted off to like more of a synth vibe and more of like an experimental type of thing, as opposed to where he did before, like with acoustics and like, you know, kind of cute melodies. Like now it's like a more adult type of like contemporary vibe, and I feel like his lyrics definitely reflect that. So one of my favorites is called Spectrum, and like one of the lyrics in it, it goes, "Last night I swallowed you, now there's a spectrum inside my mouth." And like the first time I heard it, I was like, wait, am I listening to the lyric correctly? Because sometimes I'll hear something that's not actually the lyric and I go look it up and it's something else, but this is exactly what he said, and I'm like, okay, what? Like it's such a fun, like you don't really expect it because it's just like slipped into the chorus, and you're like, wait, what did he do with his mouth? Like there's a spectrum in his mouth, like what? He swallowed who, what, where? But anyway, like it's such a really cool song. It's very vibey. Like I said, like if you're at work, it's more of like I'm in the zone, I'm getting stuff done. If you're at home, you know, relaxing on the couch or like after a long day of work, it's more just like la 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 la, you know, like it's so fun. And yeah, so my next one is called Nightshade. And this one is definitely more of a like quiet, like hush type of lullaby vibe. And it's a little bit ominous, I would say. I like the vocals in this one. I do. I like them a lot. It's just, for me, it's very ominous. And this is the title track. Like, this is the track that the album's named off of. In contrast with the photo that he used for the cover, I don't know if it matches, but I mean, I don't hate it. It's definitely an interesting song, and it sounds really great on vinyl. I think you really get that ominous type of like, you know, feeling when you hear it out loud as opposed to with your headphones on and digital. So I really love that. Then there's a song called ISEFY, which is an acronym for I'm So Excited For You. And this one is a very like upbeat song. Basically it's kind of like starts out melancholy and then it gets really like groovy. But then when you listen to it on like your headphones on digital, it sounds more like a psychedelic experience because he experiments a lot with the synth on this one, which I like. I love it when he goes crazy with the synth because you can tell he's really like trying to like, you know, be more contemporary, and it's like cool. And I think he does a really good job of it. I think he should do more. He shouldn't shy away from it because it sounds really good. But yeah, the song is basically "I'm so excited for you," and that's what he says in the chorus. It sounds like a kind of song that you would sing to your daughter when they're experiencing something new, like for the first time. And I think in the song, it's like his, or I don't know, I don't think his kids are old enough, but it sounds like the type of song you would sing about your kid experiencing like love for the first time, like, you know, romantic love, which is kind of cute. And I'm like a hopeless romantic, so I love that stuff. Yeah, and like my ultimate favorite on digital and both like on the vinyl, hearing on vinyl, was Surprise Surprise. And I really, really love it because it echoes a song that I love a lot from his album Black Bear, which is like I think 2 or 3 albums ago. Oh my god! So there's there's a part of this song that goes, "Are you looking for trouble now? Are you looking for trouble now? Are you looking now?" And I like how he plays with words in that lyric. Like I love when he does that stuff. Like that's what really like makes me love his music so much because he's so playful with his words and the way he like does the melodies with them. And it really reminds me of that song Details from Black Bear. Because in Details, he does this weird thing where he goes, "Are you my turn? You my turn yet? Oh, you might turn." And it sounds kind of like "Are you my turn?" but it's "Oh, you might turn." And that was one of the lyrics that I thought that I heard one way and it was the other way. But like, I just love that play on words. Like that's the kind of thing that I really, really enjoy about Andrew Belle's music. And I think this is the perfect album to experience that with. Also, definitely check out Black Bear if you've never heard that album. Like, oh god, this album and Black Bear are very similar, I feel like, because Black Bear was the first album he kind of started experimenting with the synth stuff. And I just love it so much. And I would say an honorable mention on this album is My Poor Heart. It's like a little bit upbeat and cute. I don't love it as much on digital, but on vinyl it sounds really fun. And yeah, so this record's like a really simple, like two-sided record. It's a very pretty cover. I love this like purple hue. That's why I love having this record on display because it's such a nice like hue, especially like with my like current interior decorations. Like I have like a bluish type of you know, color palette. So this has like, you know, the vibe of like that like calm color, like purplish sunset, nighttime type of thing. So I love having this one on display because it's so pretty. I don't know if that's his wife in the photo. I've never looked it up, but it might be. It's possible, but I don't know. It might not be. But yeah, like I really, really enjoy this album, and I definitely would recommend it, especially if you like to listen to variety type of music that's like more contemporary, but like kind of plays around with synth and like, you know, has that like vibe of like, you know, playing around with lyrics and words. And I think Andrew Belle is just so great. Like he does everything with such detail that it just makes it so much worthwhile to listen to. So I definitely recommend you like check out this album and his other records because they're also good. And I definitely would not mind having all of his albums on vinyl because they're all just so good and they're so worth listening to out loud with this kind of setup instead of like with headphones or like on digital. So yeah, that is my first Got It on vinyl for like how many, like 2 years almost now. Like the last time I did Got It on vinyl I think was like the summer of 2020. But I promise I'll be back soon with another one because I have so many records that I've accumulated since then. Especially because my boyfriend went and bought me like 3 new records in the last couple of months. So yeah, I'm excited to be back and doing this because this is a fun series to do. And so I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you later. Bye.